Welcome back to Disney Grown, and I am your goofy Disney dad. So, you saw episode 0, kind of a little bit about me, and today's episode, I want to talk about the 3 most magical things that ever happened to me at Disney. One of them, I'm saving the best for last, just recently happened. But the first one starts about when I was, say, 8 years old. Maybe a little bit older, but not too much older. Me and my family are walking around Magic Kingdom. My mom, my dad, my 2 sisters. And I see a crowd of people and hear something off in the distance kind of talking, everybody cutting up and laughing. So I'm curious as an 8-year-old. So I got to go see. And of course, also as an 8-year-old, I'm not paying attention to what my family's doing. I'm just worried about what the crowd's doing. So I take off, right? I take off to go see what the fuss is, just to find this crowd of people is circled around a trash can. And at first, I'm skeptical. I'm like, why is everybody standing around a trash can? What's so fun about a trash can? Until I see this trash can move and talk to people. So if you haven't been to Disney 15 years ago, I can't imagine how long it's been since he's actually been there. But Disney actually had a trash can called Push. He called himself Push, rolling around Disney World, cutting up, motivating people to throw away their trash, talking to people, having fun with people. Well, I'm sitting in this circle of people, and there's a little girl, probably around 15, 16, and the trash can is actually having a conversation with her. You know, he goes up, high-pitched voice, "Hello, my name's Push." And the girl's like, "Hey, Push, my name is, Sarah, Megan," whoever it was. And they're talking back and forth. He's asking her where she's from, what she likes about Disney World. And I am just, as an 8-year-old, blown away. So I am absolutely and utterly enjoying this, just not paying attention to the world. Well, off in the distance, my parents are looking for me. And if you can imagine parents at Disney World, one of the most crowded places on earth, and they've lost their child, they were freaking out. My dad was probably like, "Oh, he'll find us, whatever." Loving dad, but he had faith in me. He knew I was the smart one of all of the kids. But anyway, so my mom is freaking out. She is trying her best to try and find me. So she's screaming my name, "Steven!" And I'm not focused on that. I am focused on this awesome trash can named Push from Orlando who is talking with people. Well, since I'm not paying attention to anything but the trash can, it is a fantastic job of Push to help me out here. So in the middle of his conversation, he stops talking to the girl he was talking to at the time to say, "Steven, your mom's calling you." And he talked to me. He talked to me. Super exciting. I mean, that moment right there, especially as an 8-year-old, blew me away. I was completely baffled at it. I was excited. It was magical moments in my life, especially at 8 years old. So super happy about that. I did share that one because that's probably the first memory that I remember from Disney World as in my childhood. I know I went since I was probably 6 months old and on every year. That was my family's vacation spot. We loved it. Couldn't get enough of it. But I did share that with my Sarah, their podcast, Mouse Ears and Magic. You can follow them. They are very entertaining. They talk about a lot of stuff. They talk about their opinions on how you can best plan. Fantastic podcast. So check them out, Mouse Ears and Magic. You can also catch them on YouTube. But so I shared that one. That was my first magical memory. My second one was probably about 8 or 9 years later. So I have a sister that is 18 years older than me. So you can imagine, I was born, she was off into college. Well, with that being said, I didn't spend tons of time with her because she was out and about, going to college, getting married, and all the other stuff as I was growing up. Still love her to death. But we didn't get to spend tons of time together. But when we did, we all tried to meet up at Disney World. Well, my father, one year, and it was kind of a collection of things that happened on that one trip, but my father one year drove my mother, my other sister, and himself, along with me, to Disney World. Didn't say anything about my other sister. And we get there and we stay at my personal favorite resort, probably because of the memories I have there, the Wilderness Lodge. And we get there, and the Wilderness Lodge has this 5-story Christmas tree in the lobby. I mean, I might be exaggerating. It could be 3 or 4 stories, but that's a big Christmas tree. But all lit up, gorgeous in the lobby. Looks like a giant log cabin if you've never been there. Amazing resort. My favorite. They have a big fireplace in the background where they have a table where they're offering people hot cocoa and blankets if they want to go out on the balcony because it was chilly that year. But, it was perfectly fine. It was everything was already amazing. Well, we check into the lobby, and my dad is walking up to, tell us we're in this room here, this room there. And, at 16, 17 years old, of course, I'm trying to play the cool kid and all that. But surprised us with bringing my sister down, too. Because not but 2 minutes later, we're hanging out in the lobby, getting our luggage collected. And my sister starts walking up with her husband, David. And I am super excited. I don't get to see my sister that often. I didn't at the time. And I am just, my dad gave us this surprise for Christmas. The whole family's together for Christmas. And I couldn't ask for more. I couldn't. I really could not. So as magical as that would seem for most, especially if you're family-oriented, you can imagine, I was probably already maxed out. I was at Disney World at my favorite resort. My whole family was there. We all got to experience it together. I mean, it was just amazing. Well, I want to say day 2 or 3 into the trip, later on in the trip. So we don't want to be too exact because I'm not exactly sure. It's been a while. But a few days into the trip, we decide we're having a rest day, and we're going to go out to the hot tub at the resort. It's a little chilly, so a hot tub would feel amazing. So we get down to the hot tub, and the whole family gets in the hot tub. So, if you can imagine a family of 5, a lot plus 1, because my sister's husband, we get in that hot tub. We're crammed in. We're having family time. We're talking. We're cutting up. We're having fun. And while we're in the hot tub, someone comes up, and the first question they ask is this your whole family? Is everybody here? And we're like, yeah, this is our whole party. This is everything we got here. And they didn't tell us anything, but they told us, they said, go back to your room, get changed into some warm clothes, and meet us back here at this exact spot in 45 minutes. And I'm like, okay, 45 minutes. Everybody's confused, but hey, it was a Disney cast member. That's the person who told us. The Disney cast member told us, get changed, warm clothes, specifically warm clothes, and meet us back down here in 45 minutes. So we all get dried off. We go back to the room. We get dressed in warm clothes. We get down there in about 30 minutes because we're booking it. We're excited. We don't know what's going on, but, we're going to be there in time. So we get down there, and the cast member's standing there with an arm filled with blankets. Nothing but blankets. And we're like, okay, what is going on here? So this isn't planned. This isn't something we something we purchased to go do or anything like that. We were just sitting in the hot tub minding our business doing family things. And all of a sudden this Disney employee says, tells us to go do this. So we go do it. And the employee says, follow me. Grab a blanket and follow me. So we all have a blanket to stay warm. And like I said, December in Florida is not typically cold. But this particular year, right around Christmas time, I want to say around December 20th, it was chilly. I mean, at nighttime, you probably needed a light jacket. It was chilly. So the cast member walks us out to a pontoon boat and tells us to all get on. And she said, just relax. So as we're getting on the pontoon boat and we're working our way out into the lake, Wilderness Lodge is on a lake that connects with the front of Magic Kingdom. So, we get on this pontoon boat and we start going that way, and we see the entrance to Magic Kingdom off in the distance. And when we get out there, the cast member tells us, said, we're celebrating, I forgot it might have been the 25 years. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But we're celebrating, and to help celebrate, it was the year of 100 wishes. Whichever year that was, I remember now it's the year of 100 wishes. So They were granting 100 wishes out to random people, and what they did for us is they put us out on a pontoon boat on the lake in front of Magic Kingdom, and we got to watch the fireworks from Magic Kingdom on the front of the lake. It was awesome. Had my whole family there during Christmas time, and it was fantastic just to be there. That memory will last a lifetime. My mother, my two sisters, my father, that was amazing. And it wasn't planned. It was just something magical that Disney did for us. And, if the first two stories, getting to watch the fireworks from a boat in front of Magic Kingdom and talking trash cans that got to cut up and have fun with you, if those two stories aren't enough to really get you in the Disney spirit like I just had, I got blessed, and Disney shared some more magic with me recently. So my third story is in about June of 2021, this year, I had an email from D23, which is a Disney Club membership kind of thing. So I don't pay for it, but it is something you can do for free, and they give you free updates on what's going on in the parks and stuff like that. And they sent me an email saying, hey, we have a sweepstakes for the 50th anniversary. Put in a submission. At least one ticket is free, so just submit the one. So I'm like, whatever. It doesn't hurt. It's not going to hurt me, but I'm not going to win. Whatever. Well, that was in June. The first week of August, I get an email from a company called Prize Logic. And I'm like, I don't know who this is. I was about this close to just spamming it. I've never heard of Prize Logic in my life. But I opened it up and checked it out. Prize Logic sends me an email saying that I've won the 50th anniversary sweepstakes. Me? What? What? But that excitement quickly faded when I realized, I was like, this isn't Disney. This is a company called Prize Logic. It's got to be a spam. It's got to be. It's got to be. So I email them back. I'm like, hey, who do I call to get some more information about this? And they tell me, well, there's not really a call center. We're all working remotely, so it's just via email. But if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to, email us back and forth. And at that point, I'm like, okay, a scam. They don't have a phone number they can call. It's got to be a scam. 100% scam. Well, I'm looking over it again and again, and I see, well, the email, most spam emails is like some, Prize Logic at, XQZWBRSQ, just a random jumble of letters that that's spam. But it wasn't. It was a legit email. So I email them back. I'm like, hey, this is kind of sketchy. I want to make sure this isn't a scam. I'm not getting scammed. Someone's stealing my identity or whatnot. And it turns out that they said, you know what? If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer anything for you. And you can check us out on the Better Business Bureau. We're on there. We have good reviews. They can verify we are legit. Still not convinced. I am too many crazies these days. I am not convinced at all. So I have one more plan. My plan is I'm going to call D23. They've got to know it. I mean, it's their sweepstakes. They got to know it. So I call D23, and they tell me, all right, how's it going? I'm like, oh, my name's Steven, and I just got an email saying I won the 50th anniversary sweepstakes, but I'm not really sure if it's true, and I'm not trying to get scammed. Can y'all help me out? And they said, look, here's the deal. I don't know exactly the details, but forward us that email to our tech support, and we'll get back to you. We'll let you know if this is legit or not. So, okay. So I email it to them, and I'm reading through the things again. And as I'm reading through it, I only have 3 days. That took 1 day. Emailing Prize Logic back and forth, calling D23, all that took 1 complete day. And in the email it says, I have 3 days to submit or they're going to find somebody else. But I'm still not convinced it's real, so I got to find out first. I'm not willing to give out my information for nothing. So I patiently wait 1 day, and the next day they come back and D23 tells me, this is legit. You've won. I mean, you've got it. It's all yours. And at this point in time, I am freaking out. So if you're not familiar with the sweepstakes is a 6-day, 5-night at a Disney resort, which they didn't reveal. They just said at a Disney resort. If you're outside of 100 miles, your airfare is paid for there and back, a $500 gift card, 6-day park hoppers, and a gift basket when you get in the room. And when D23 confirmed it, I am like, yes! Freaking out. Absolutely freaking out. So, but I have to compose myself. I have about a day and a half left to pick my +1, because I get a +1 with it, and get the paperwork submitted before they find something else. Because if they can't verify my paperwork within that 3-day time frame, I've lost it. So, like any good husband would do, I asked my wife. I'm like, hey, babe, we won this. We have plans next weekend. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We should cancel our plans next weekend and then come back, do this. The people we have our plans with will understand. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. How often do you get to win a paid vacation in Disney World? I mean, and, we sit down and we talk about it for about an hour. We go back and forth about this, that, and the other. And my wife comes up with this brilliant idea because she is the best wife on the planet. The absolute best wife on the planet. I can't stress that enough. I'm sorry about you other wives out there listening, but this move she made right here, in my eyes, makes her the absolute best wife on the planet. So we sit down and think about it, and she says, you know what? I really don't want to bail on our friends. They're very important to us. We love these friends to death. They are most likely guaranteed the best friends we'll ever have in our life. They're fantastic people. But she says, I don't want to bail on them, and your father's been taking you since you were a kid. You should take your dad. And that hit me deep, because she knows how I feel about my father. Most kids growing up, people are like, who do you want to be when you grow up? And they say someone famous like Michael Jordan or Wesley Snipes or, Morgan Freeman, something like that. They have someone famous that they can look up to, and which is perfectly fine. But me, since I was a kid, there's only one person I wanted to be like my entire life, and that's my father. He's the most respectful man I've ever known. He's treated me good. He's taught me everything I know. And, when she told me that, it hit me deep. It meant a lot to me for her to give me that opportunity. And, of course, I fought it a little bit. Like, babe, are you sure? I would really like to share these moments with you. We got the photo pass, everything. This... But in the end, we settled at that. She said, you know what, you should take your father. I promise I'm okay with this. So I call my dad up, and and he tells me, he's like, yeah, sure, why not? So we fill out our information, we submit it, and the next day, our last day of the deadline, they're like, 2 thumbs way up. We got it. And that's in August. The only catch is that it wasn't one of those, hey, you get to come anytime between October and January. Just choose a time. No, specific days, because we are going to be there for the 50th anniversary celebration, the opening day of it, which is October 1st. So this trip, from when you're listening to this, today is September 24th. This trip is from September 28th to October 3rd. So I go in a few days. I am stoked about it. Goofy Disney Dad is ready to get goofy. Gosh. Oh, boy, I'm ready for this trip. So, anyways, it's been finalized, and for all you Disney fanatics out there, if you have ever planned multiple Disney trips, you start planning as far out as possible. And Disney allows you to plan 16 months in advance. So I've been doing this, all my life, obviously. So I start planning things. I start planning the trip 16 months out. I start booking my hotel, and then I start getting tickets, and then I start making dining reservations at 6 months out, and then I start making park hoppers at 3 months out, vice versa. All my plans are in advance. So that being said, they came back to me in August to tell me about the sweepstakes, and I'm like, well, that's 2 months away. I get my paperwork filled out, and they tell me somebody's going to reach out to you in a few weeks. Well, nobody reached out to me again until about early September 10th, I think. September 10th is when I officially started getting details back saying, all right, we've booked this, because I have no control over any of it. With all COVID and all that, we have to make park reservations and all the other stuff. So, middle of September, trip is 3 weeks away. I'm freaking out because I normally plan 16 months in advance, and they're telling me, it's like, we'll get you the information, don't worry. And I'm like, I can't I can't wait that long. So they get back to me a few days later, and they tell me, all right, we have the first 4 days planned out. You can go to these parks. You're good to go. You have park hoppers, so anytime after 2 o'clock, you can jump and go to another park. That's fine. I'm like, sweet. Well, that's awesome. Well, and this is my fault for keeping my expectations low, knowing how Disney is, right? So when you win a sweepstakes, you'd imagine, all right, well, they're going to give me one of their smaller hotels. They're going to give me some of this, some of that, a little bit of things here and there. You don't expect them to go, waste a ton of money to go all out. You don't expect it. And I didn't expect it. I was like, okay, well, I'll stay at All-Star Sports, All-Star Movies, maybe a place like Port Orleans Riverside. Cool. I'm going to be at Disney. I don't really care, but that's what I expect. But I am trying to make dining reservations and all that other stuff, and I got 3 weeks to do it, and all these places are going to be booked out. So I got to start working on it now. So I'm eager. I got to start working on it now. So that being said, I reach out because I haven't heard anything. I'm like, well, I had my first 4 out of 6 days for parks, but I don't know where I'm staying at. So I reach out to them, and they say, this is a big event coming up. We're trying to get everything planned. We have a lot of people we're working with. So, just give us some time, and we'll get it to you. Well, I get an email 2 days ago on the 22nd. Or maybe it was yesterday. It could have been the 25th. Today's 24th of September, 2021. They booked me for the Grand Floridian, which is the most luxurious hotel Disney has. And just to give you an idea, at this date, right now, if I were to try to book a hotel today, the rate per night is $769 a night. What? So I'm not expecting that at all. So because I had my expectations as low as I could, this was news. Holy crap. This was news. This was news. Whoa! I mean, that's attached to the monorail, so I can get quick access to Epcot and Magic Kingdom. I'm mind blown. This is fantastic. I mean, Disney has exceeded all expectations. They're sending me to the most magical place on earth for the 50th anniversary. And apparently it's some type of media event or something like that they'll give me details on closer to the trip within the next 4 days. But so I am mind blown. Disney has exceeded expectations, and I can't say enough how excited I am to take this trip with my father, of all people, to show him. Because he's getting older, he's retired. He's not really working too much anymore, so it's getting up every year to take a Disney trip doesn't exactly function that easy, especially since prices are going through the roof, and I can understand that 100%. So this moment I can share with my father means the absolute world to me. Just to top it off, since he hasn't been in a few years, he hasn't done Star Wars Galaxy's Edge yet. He hasn't done Toy Story Land yet. He hasn't done Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway yet. Ratatouille opens on the 1st, so we'll have an opportunity to do Ratatouille. I mean, I get to share all these memories with him, and I am super excited with the PhotoPass and all that. So I can't wait to share some of this with y'all. When I get back, I'll do a podcast giving y'all an update on everything that happened, everything that did, try and share some photos. This is amazing. I'm so glad I get to share this with y'all. And I know, once again, this right here, I shared this news first because this is my first episode ever, but I shared this news first on Mouse Ears and my friends James and Sarah. So they get to share the love first, and my own story is showing up second on my own, but I'm fine with that. This is exciting news. I'm glad I got to share it with them. And just a final note, especially if James and Sarah are listening, I plan on sending a video of me in Sarah's favorite place, It's a Small World, because I know how much she loves It's a Small World. Y'all will understand if you listen to their podcast. But yeah, that'd be great. Well, outside of that, I'm glad y'all got to check in with me. keep listening in. I plan on doing a pre-trip video as well, kind of showing my excitement and letting you know some of the things I plan on doing while I'm there, along with sharing some of the things that I are my typical Disney traditions. Because I've been so many times, we have a tradition. We have a first place we eat at every time. We have little fun hobbies that we do while we're there and stuff like that. So, I appreciate y'all for checking in. This is Disney Grown GDD, Goofy Disney Dad. So thank you for checking in, and we will see y'all next time.